Okay, hey Kara. This is Jake. Obviously, just responding to your first video post for discussion one for your research paper. First of all, I think it's a really fascinating study to look at if certain students do have a predisposition or certain characteristic um, in common that causes them to choose one location over the other, or them to choose the not so popular or um, uh, not so attended locations. So I think it's a great idea, and we share the same group that we're looking at. I'm also looking at undergraduate, traditional undergraduate students, but I'm looking at more of the connection between well-being, happiness, um, participation in campus recreation, and how that plays into retention. So I think we may share a lot of the same conceptual and theoretical frameworks. And just throughout your video, I was jotting down some notes and some suggestions, but you also may have already thought about these, um, uh, or you know, or you haven't. But these are just my suggestions, things I had thought of or came in my mind while your video was going. And it's, like I said, very similar to what my study is. So just looking at the conceptual framework to approach this from I was looking at Aston's taxonomy of college outcomes, and more specifically the affective behavioral intersection, because the affective would be the attitudes, personality, dispositions that would cause these students to choose one location over the other. And then the second dimension, behavioral. Are they involved students or are they uninvolved? Are they active or inactive? Is there a specific GPA, or do they share similar grades or performance outcomes, things like that. So starting from there and then looking at theoretical framework, the typological model popped out at me quite a bit, just looking at the definition of tendencies that people have in common, which is basically what you're looking at, similarities, characteristics that a specific group of students may share. Um, so those are just two frameworks that came to mind. As your video was going, I had jotted down just this idea of flipping it over and possibly looking at interviewing international students that are here in the U.S. from other countries, and where the U.S. stands as far as a location for non-U.S. students for their study abroad or their international study. I just thought that would be a really interesting thing to look at as well, playing into this. And I also jotted down psychosocial development theory, just because once you have those similarities and those characteristics narrowed down, it'd be interesting to see and ask the question, why did they get to this point, or is there a common factor that's contributing to those similarities and those characteristics, and kind of going back a little bit. So those are my suggestions. I think it's a neat study. I think I think you'll definitely find some similarities and characteristics, and I look forward to looking at what you find. So I hope I provided some good suggestions, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me or respond to this post. Thanks, Cara.